going to be the second day of the Parliament session, and yesterday we saw scenes of ruckus that were taking place. Again, it was the issue of SIR that had been picked up by the opposition leaders. The opposition leaders being very clear that unless the issue of SIR is actually discussed in the Parliament, they will not allow the Parliament to function. And we saw pandemonium breaking out in the Parliament, and the opposition also mentioned the suicide of the BLO, saying that there is a lot of pressure on the BLOs to actually carry out this entire SIR exercise. The Election Commission, meanwhile, remember, has also extended the deadline with the very same intention to ensure that there is no pressure on the BLOs and that there is enough transparency, because this comes amid the political showdown over the SIR exercise. Yesterday, we saw scenes of ruckus in the Parliament. The question is it going to be any different today?
I suggest that urgent issues, like what you said, pollution, other issues, SIR, these are huge issues. Let's discuss them. What is Parliament for? Let's discuss them. Let them have a discussion. It's not drama. Speaking about issues, raising issues is not drama. Drama is not allowing discussion. Drama is not having a democratic discussion about issues that matter to the public.
लोगों की जान जा रही है. लोग भाग रहे हैं, एक दूसरे से पूछ रहे हैं. जो आपने BLO बनाए हैं, उनको कोई ट्रेनिंग नहीं दी आपने. हम पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के लोग प्रयास कर रहे हैं कि हमारा वोट न कटे, काटा न जाए, क्योंकि बीजेपी का हर काम, हर फैसला चुनाव आयोग के माध्यम से ये है कि इनका वोट काटा जाए. बीजेपी की रणनीति है कि जिन बूथों पर विपक्ष जीता उन बूथों पर सबसे ज्यादा वोट काटा जाए.
The opposition says that this is a demand that we have, and as the opposition, they have every right to raise an issue which is important to the entire country. They have, in fact, also mentioned the suicides of the BLOs in multiple states. Akanksha is on the broadcast with us with the details. And Akanksha, the opposition has mentioned a few cases, saying that this is the biggest issue of the country right now and it should be discussed in the Parliament.
Absolutely. Today is day 2 of the winter session of the Parliament. In fact, the India Bloc, Pratibha, is preparing to stage a protest outside the Makka Dwar today. We're learning that the opposition is repeatedly raising the issue of SIR following the death of multiple BLOs in UP, Rajasthan, Gujarat and other states as well. So here are some of the cases that we'll tell you about Sarvesh Singh from UP, from Moradabad, and the reason for his death, as has been stated in the suicide note, is that he was not able to meet the SIR target. There was lack of proper guidance from his seniors as well, was stressed due to the work pressure. And this is another person, Anuj Garg from Rajasthan. As per his family, he was doing the SIR work till 1 o'clock and he could not take the pressure of that work. She complained of the chest pain, and this is about this lady from Gujarat, Tapi. As per the district collector, she was rushed to the hospital, but she was declared brought dead. In fact, let's tell you about Zakir Hussain from Murshidabad in West Bengal, and this is an issue that TMC has been raising. And as per the family, he died because of cardiac arrest. Mounting work pressure was the reason behind what really, in fact, happened as far as these cases are concerned. And this is about Zakir Hussain from Murshidabad in West Bengal. So the opposition parties in Parliament and in fact in West Bengal as well, they have been raising the issue as far as SIR is concerned. Pratibha.
Okay. All right. In fact, this is what the opposition has been saying as well. And for now, the government has also agreed that there will be a discussion on all the issues that the opposition is talking about, including the special intensive revision by the Election Commission. The government, though, has said that there is a protocol in place on how the Parliament actually functions. So it will be discussed. But as of now, the timeline for it has not been decided.
Special intensive revision or electoral reforms or whatever. I have stated before the beginning of the winter session that government is not averse to taking up discussion for anything. If you insist on the timeline, you can create, the timeline is set by you. I am obliging the direction of the chair.
Parliament to run. Why doesn't the government want a discussion when everybody here wants a discussion? The problem is, timeline is not the problem. The problem is a trust deficit. The whole session, they did not have a discussion. How can we trust them? How can we trust them?
So you heard what the government has to say as well. There was a lot of ruckus that was witnessed in the Parliament, some key issues that have been raised by the opposition as well. So, Akanksha, what can be expected today?
Absolutely, not just in the national capital, Pratibha. In fact, protests also broke out in West Bengal and took place outside the office of the state chief electoral officer. We're learning that this was a protest that was led by the BLO group, which took place during the time when Bengal leader of opposition, Suvendu Adhikari, visited the CEO's office. The election commissioner, however, has countered this, and the claim that has come in from the TMC, as they have released their own statement. They have said that as far as the forms are concerned, 88% of the SIR forms have been digitized. 99.72% of the forms have been given, and most importantly, a deadline has been extended. Remember, it was 4th of December. Now it has been extended by 1 week, and the reason behind is that this will give enough time to the BLOs there and will also lessen the work pressure on them as well. This is as far as the counter from Election Commission is concerned. The Election Commission has also accused the TMC government in West Bengal of withholding the payments due to the polling official. Remember, we told you that the Election Commission has increased the payout. They've enhanced the payout of 12,000 rupees, and they've also given additional 6,000 rupees that has been approved by the Election Commission. But they have said that the state of West Bengal and the government there is not giving out that payment to the BLOs. They are saying that BLOs are affected, but what about the payment that they have to be given? Distribute amount without any delay is what the Election Commission has told TMC. Pratibha, so this is what the TMC has been told, that on one hand you're taking to the streets, you're protesting for the BLOs, that they are in fact committing suicide because of the work pressure, but on the other hand you're not giving them the payment that they deserve.
Okay, all right. Do stay with us, Akanksha. We also have Kritika joining us on the broadcast. And Kritika, we've seen this showdown play out time and again, and then we also see a complete washout in the parliament. Yet again, we're seeing that face-off between the government and the opposition. The opposition says, discuss SIR. The government says, we are ready to debate, but there is a protocol that needs to be followed. We don't have a timeline as yet for that. So what's expected today? What are you picking up from the opposition as well? What is their strategy going to be going into day 2 of the parliament session?
Well, as far as the India bloc is concerned, Pratibha, they've made it very clear today at 10:30 is when they will be protesting at the Makar Dwar. Remember, similar protests we've seen in the monsoon session, in the winter session preceding that as well, and now again we'll be witnessing the same protests at the Makar Dwar against the issue of SIR. Remember, the opposition in the Business Advisory Committee, meeting which happened on Sunday, they had pushed for a discussion on electoral reforms rather than straight away saying that they want a discussion on SIR. The government, remember, has earlier also said that the Election Commission of India does not fall under any specific ministry, and anytime any issue is raised in the parliament, at the end of it the specific ministry has to reply for it. The government multiple times has said that they cannot reply on the behalf of the Election Commission. However, they also say that they're not opposed to in fact debate on any of the issues that the opposition wants to bring in. But as we're already discussed earlier as well, no timeline has so far been given by the government, and that is why a lot of people in the opposition as well as in the government, we're seeing a trust deficit also come up. And using this as the fodder, the opposition now is going to be protesting at the Makar Dwar against the issue of SIR, which they say is in fact one of the primary central issues facing the people and constitutional democracy, in fact, of the country as well. We've heard senior leaders of the Congress, whether it is Priyanka Gandhi, of the Samajwadi Party, with the likes of Akhilesh Yadav, Ram Gopal Yadav, as well as, in fact, in the TMC, Abhishek Banerjee has also been in the front of this entire issue, and they're all alleging that, in fact, the BLOs are under work stress, that they're untrained as well, and the manner in which the entire process is happening is in fact ensuring that their voters are left out from the process. Voters that belong from marginalized sections are left out, and the BJP voters are benefited. This is a strong charge that in fact has been leveled. Opposition parties also say that they're not against SIR. It is a procedural the way of is in fact in question with direct attacks on the on the chief election.
So clearly as well, today as well, we're going to see this showdown. Do stay with us, Kritika. We have more breaking updates now coming in. The DMK MP Tiruchi Siva has given a suspension of business notice in the Rajya Sabha under Rule 267, demanding a discussion on the need for electoral reforms to further strengthen the electoral process in the country. So, suspension notice has been given. The DMK moving a suspension of business notice in the parliament, demanding a discussion on the electoral reforms, saying that there is a need for the entire poll process to be strengthened, saying that there needs to be an improved voter system in the country, and that's the reason why this is being brought about. In fact, the DMK has brought in the suspension notice. This also comes amid the suspensions that we are seeing time and again. Yesterday as well, there were multiple adjournments that took place in the parliament, and now yet again the same with the DMK now bringing in a suspension of business notice in the Rajya Sabha. So yesterday in the Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha, this was playing out. You saw ruckus breaking out time and again, and today it's no different. Kritika, so very clearly the DMK bringing in a suspension of business notice in the Rajya Sabha, saying that there should be a discussion on the electoral reform. So a prelude into what can be expected today as well.
Absolutely. Remember, Tamil Nadu is also slated to face elections, to have in fact elections early next year as well, and we are also seeing now the suspension notice that has been moved by DMK MP Tiruchi Siva. This is in line of other MPs also bringing in similar suspension notice even yesterday. Remember, today we have the protest as well, so we can definitely expect a very fiery and stormy session, which may again result into early adjournment as well as a washout as far as today's list of business is also concerned, due to the protests over SIR. Now, even as we were discussing earlier, so even in this suspension notice, the MP has written it as a discussion on electoral reforms, on voters, addition and deletion of voters. SIR has not been specifically mentioned. However, that is going to be the key issue that will be raised as part of these electoral reforms, as has been the case.
So we're going to see disruptions, at 11 when the parliament convenes. The opposition leaders again united, saying discuss the SIR, discuss the electoral reforms, or we are not going to allow the parliament to function. So we're going to see the ruckus yet again. For now, a very quick break. Kritika, thank you for joining us. We'll be right back.